My name is Jasmine Moore.
My name is Nate Moore.
We have 2 children. Back in December, we had a scary situation where we had to take our son to Dayton Children.
He started developing a really high fever that was pretty much causing him to hallucinate.
We were definitely very worried when we saw his temperature was that high. When we got there, the ER doc, who was really great, she kept him for, I think, maybe a couple hours, gave him antibiotics, and his fever still didn't come down.
His temperature wasn't being receptive to treatment, so we had to figure something out.
Once we got admitted to the hospital, he started to rapidly decline.
He started to swell and develop a rash around his eyes and also on his cheeks. He wasn't eating, he wasn't really talking. We were running all these tests and everything was coming back negative.
And the days kept going and he didn't get better.
He had developed a lot of swelling around his face, his extremities, his lower extremities, his legs.
The doctors kind of told us, you need to give him a blood transfusion. So at 4 years old, for your son to have a blood transfusion is very scary.
It was absolutely horrifying.
When they finally came up with the MIS-C diagnosis, it was explained to us that Evan was exposed to COVID a few weeks ago, and then his body fought it off, and then it kept fighting itself until it couldn't fight anymore.
What it is a multi-organ inflammatory process that happens when kids get a COVID infection.
We didn't know he ever had COVID, so that was the biggest shocker for us.
Kids' bodies develop a lot of inflammation, and it can affect different organs, primarily their heart.
Both of his coronary arteries were dilated, and so he had just that short amount of time, the heart was damaged.
He actually developed fluid around his heart, so they had to, we had to put him on medication to get that fluid off of his heart.
He started to get better, and he would kind of smile for the doctors when they did their rounds, and he finally became that Evan that we know.
When he started eating is when we started to see the Evan that we knew. On the day that Evan was discharged, they gave him a round of applause.
Evan was surely surprised and a little embarrassed that his nursing staff was there to, clap him out.
I was so happy that we were able to make that walk together as a family. In hindsight, a little bit of precaution goes a long way. You can't always react after your kid is sick. If you have any tool at your disposal to keep your kid safe, please use it.
All the measures to prevent exposure to the COVID virus will help prevent MIS-C, and that could be anything from hand washing, social distancing, masking.
Evan is doing great today. He's back to his normal self. He's happy. He likes to play with his toys. He knows his limits. And he doesn't get too overworked, but he's pretty much back to his normal self.
They were wonderful for me and for my family, and especially for Evan. So thank you, Dayton Children's.